kind of help.
And for those of you that haven't been here before, we always start Episcopal Seniors with a prayer. So let us pray. Heavenly Father, you feed us with spiritual food, but we are here tonight to learn about earthly food in order to better care for ourselves. Help us to drop any barriers we may have inadvertently brought with us so that the information presented may be easily learned. And we ask this through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
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 And we've got two people who are just joining us now.
Jerry.
And I am going to start. We have our speaker on video, so I am going to share my screen.
There we
And
go.
here we go.
Good evening. I'm Dave McNary, and this is the third session of health status assessments for the Episcopal Seniors. You recall that the Episcopal Seniors program is a program to address the well-being of individuals. And that includes health and a number of other issues that we will in the future be addressing. This is the third session, and I wanted to just quickly refresh your memory in terms of the
Lost it.
I can give Eric three components. Let's see here. Three components. You see there the A1C, which is a measurement of your of blood, of the sugar attached to your blood cells. And you can see A1C normal is 4 to 5.6%, and you're pre-diabetic in that range, and then diabetes is 6.5. If you want to also measure your fasting blood glucose, you can do that, and you can see the measurements there. A1C is something you should get some measurement for at least once a year. It's probably a more accurate measurement than your fasting blood sugar, fasting blood glucose, which changes significantly each day. The A1C gives you a much longer period of time to look at that. Blood pressure, you are all pretty much familiar with these measurements in terms of normal, elevated, stage 1, stage 2, etc. in terms of your systolic and dystolic measurements. And again, one of the points here is we ought to be cognizant of what those measurements are at any time, so that we can sort of know where we are. BMI is your body mass index, and you can see that's a measurement of, basically it measures your height and weight and gives you that body mass index. You want to try and stay, if you can, in the healthy weight, although I will tell you healthy weight for people our age seems to be extraordinarily low, and it does not necessarily take into effect of people who are a little more muscular. So I take the low end of those with a table of salt, but I take the general categories as being important. Unfortunately, we're seeing probably a large percentage of the population in the overweight category, and exceedingly disturbing is we're seeing a great number in the obese area, and that starts to affect a lot of other health indicators.
I don't get it. How much should I weigh? It's a body mass index. You have to look on a chart.
You can if you go to the if you just look it up, BMI calculator, you can quickly calculate where you are based on your height and your weight. Cholesterol, again, we've all heard about cholesterol. Another contributing factor to our health, certainly in terms of heart. Certainly, when you look at your A1C, that affects this cholesterol. So you can see optimally where we should be, and particularly the LDL and the HDL. And again, I would encourage you, this is something you'll need to measure. You should measure at least annually, and you'll need to go to a physician and have them draw blood, just as you would with the BMI. Those two you probably need to get from your physician. If you've got then all four of those, you really have cornerstones to start to relate to your health and the status of your health. And they will interact. Those four numbers will interact.
Less than 150. Okay.
I'm not sure where the audio is on this, but we'll continue it. Okay.
Oh, just
Go ahead.
either.
Rita, you're mute. I don't
Yes,
know where.
So we're gonna look. that
Sorry,
up.
are you not hearing the audio from the slideshow?
No.
No.
Okay, let me see if I can fix that, because that would
There's
be
an audio.
an important thing here.
Yeah.
Let me pause my share. Hang on. Sorry about that.
I was talking him through it, Rita.
I know you were, and it was confusing to me because I could hear it. I could actually
Okay.
hear the slideshow and I could hear you. So I figured you were having trouble with that. So let me
Okay.
just, sorry, because we'll have trouble when we get to the interview if you can't hear her speaking. So why are we not? Let me just see what's going on here. Not what we wanted. Stop that. Sorry, delay of game. I'm not sure why the audio wasn't playing. Let me open this up.
Diet and how, when you go to the store, you can start. That's me in another life.
Okay. Let's try this one more time. And David, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down once I start sharing
Okay.
and playing it. You can hear it. Okay.
Look at where that is and where that isn't by taking really a close look at the labeling and how the labeling is broken out. What's good fat, what's bad fat, what are some of these other things that you want to know about. So he gave us some ideas on that, and he gave us some tools in terms of how do you read these things. And I thought it was very helpful for me, because now when I look at I look at a can of tomato soup I did the other day, and it's about 300 calories, but it's 3 servings. So you've got to look at what is in those, in each and everything you look at. He also looked at there's a lot of hidden sugars even in the labeling as it lays it out. When you look particularly at the carbs, probably 70% of the carbs are sugar. And you want to know what is the right kind of sugar, what fats you should be having. Are there good fats and bad fats? And Sam helped us on that. And you may want to go back to that session, which is available on our site, as is the first one. And you can refresh yourself in terms of that. I think the second part that we looked at in that second session was really the American Heart Association, my life check assessment. And this is a very simple tool. You can get online, and if you will give you another reference in terms of that website, go on and free, you can take a quiz, and it's probably 20 questions, and they will quickly calculate what your health status is. And it's a very helpful thing to look at. When I did mine was 7.1 out of 10, not so good, but it helps you to understand where you should be looking to if you want to improve your health or what your health status is. So I find it a very good tool to check on a periodic basis. in addition, the American Heart Association had a simple 7 strategies, and it's more to refresh your memory in terms of what kinds of actions can you take if you want to try and manage your overall health. And we find it a very useful thing. Today, the 3rd session, we are very excited to have Roufia Payman, who is going to, she is the coordinator of nutrition for the New Vance Health System. New Vance Health System is a multi-state system of about 8 to 9 hospitals. So she has been instrumental in putting together a CDC certified program on pre-diabetes. And it's an extraordinary one. So we are excited to have her come, and we're going to talk a little bit about what some of the key issues that she sees from this. Just a personal note, I and my wife, Kathy, both attended her session, and it's a 16-week program. It's free. You meet once a week, probably. We met on Monday at 5 o'clock for an hour. We found it very, very useful. It clearly changed my whole perspective in how I look at diet, not going on a diet, but what is my diet, and how do I modify my diet in terms of what I'm eating, and do I understand what I'm eating? It was extremely helpful. And the good news is all our numbers, both Kathy's and mine, went down in terms of improving. My weight went down, my BMI went down, my cholesterol went down, my blood pressure went down, and my A1C went down. So all of those together really form one of the cores of knowing where your health and your health status is. So we are very excited about having Roufia here, and look forward to we're going to ask her some questions and see what she can come up with here. But we really look forward to it. Well, I want now to continue with our presentation today, and we are very excited to have Roufia Payman with us. Roufia is the supervisor for community nutrition at Northern Dutchess, and has been instrumental in the design and implementation of now a CDC certified program for pre-diabetes. And as a participant some time ago, I can tell you that it has had extraordinary impact on my life. And after I completed the 16-week program, which by the way is to the public at no expense, all of my critical numbers, my 4 numbers, my A1C, my BMI, my cholesterol, and my blood pressure, all move down to much better, healthier measurements. So this is an exciting program that Roufia has been carrying for several years now. And so we are delighted to have you, Roufia, here. And I think part of what we want to accomplish today is really to give this population, this audience, some ideas in terms of the whole area of nutrition. We've all heard about the importance of healthy diets and exercise, and those really are, I think, the cornerstone of good health. So let's talk a little bit about that. I guess one of the things that come to mind, Roufia, is how would you describe a healthy diet? What is a healthy diet?
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me. I'm delighted to be with you all. Thank you, David, for all the compliments. Really, the credit goes to you, not to us. Eating healthfully really becomes at times difficult because we hear so many different information about what is a healthy diet, right? So it becomes very confusing. What is a healthy diet? The emphasis should be vegetables, fruit, nuts and seeds, lean protein. That is basically a Mediterranean diet. And dairy should be low-fat dairy. If you I thought I should share with you. This really works. Your plate, right? So half of your plate at lunch and dinner should be vegetables. The other half, a quarter lean protein and a quarter healthy grain or healthy starch like sweet potato, purple potato, butternut squash, acorn squash, corn, or peas. Healthy grain, nothing white. No white rice, no regular pasta, whole grain pasta, or alternative pasta like legume pasta. Basically, this is your focus should be, I apologize, on your plate. And if one is eating eggs for breakfast, be mindful of adding vegetables to your eggs if you're choosing eggs as your protein. And that's basically a healthy diet, or I call it a Mediterranean diet.
Okay, we're going to come back and talk about a little other diets a little later, but in that you talked about protein, and can you talk about the role of the protein, carbohydrates, and fats in the diet?
Sure, we do need carbohydrates. It's called also the healthy carbohydrate or a slow carbohydrate or complex carbohydrate. We need them for energy, for fuel, right? Our brain lives on glucose, so we do need certain amount of carbohydrate for ourselves every day. Now, it could be fruits. Fruits have carbohydrates. It could be starches like sweet potato, purple potatoes, brown rice, black rice, white rice, whole grain pastas, whole grain 100% whole wheat, or 100% rye bread. And it is okay to have certain amount of carbohydrate in your diet. Now, there are starchy vegetables like corn, like peas, like pasta, of course. They make artichoke pasta, right? Butternut squash, acorn squash, different kind of potatoes. They're all carbohydrates, right? So you don't want to eat white rice because of the glycemic index, how it impacts your blood sugar. Honestly, as we all get older, I really believe we all develop pre-diabetes. So it is important to stay with healthier grain, complex carbohydrate. And you're welcome to eat the, refined carbohydrate, maybe once a week, maybe once a month, or for a special occasion. You're on mute, David.
I'm sorry. You mentioned as we age, we might be more prevalent to being moving into the pre-diabetic.
Yes.
Why is that?
Well, unfortunately, some of us start gaining weight, less physically active, right? And we have a tendency to, which is wonderful, to, if you're retired, socialize with your friends. So you have a tendency to go out more, to have lunch out with your friends, to have dinners out with your friends, or to have dinner parties. So you tend to eat more foods that are not good for you. That's why.
Okay. I noticed on the plate that you put up, there were portions there. But also, is it important, it's nice to have, we all have big plates that we like to fill. I remember one of the things in your program, use smaller plates. So
Yes,
your portion.
correct. And if you're using larger, I don't want it, for people, if you don't have a smaller plate, go out and buy a smaller plate. If you can't afford it, sure. But if you can or you don't have the space, fill up your plate with vegetables, right? So try to eat more vegetables. As we get older, we somehow, for some of us, develop intolerance to maybe eating too much salad causes irritable bowel or makes you gassy. So I recommend then you use the cooked vegetable, right? Broccoli, cauliflower, green beans, zucchini, spinach, Swiss chard, all those, carrots, celery, all those asparagus, all those vegetables. You could buy frozen or fresh vegetable, and as much as you want, you're welcome to eat them. You can roast them, you can steam them, you can use stir fry. So we're very blessed. We live in Hudson Valley area, so we have access to wonderful supermarket, and we're blessed. I know I shouldn't say, but we also have the apples. So it's great.
Good. I get when we talk about pre-diabetes, and some of the numbers are a little frightening. I know in Dutchess County there are probably pretty close to 100,000 people that are pre-diabetic, and of 30,000, if we look at almost 10% in the population, that would be 30,000 diabetics in the county. So it's frightening to see that, and that's why understanding this is so much important. Let me talked about fats. Can you talk about good fats, bad fats? I'm not sure I understand that.
Sure. So animal fat, whether it's from beef, lamb, pork, chicken, even I always say, even the leanest chicken has 3 grams of fat per ounce, right? In excess is no good. I recommend for everyone to limit the animal fat. So if you're eating red meat, limit it to twice a week and make sure it's really lean, right? 85 to 95% lean. Chicken, you're welcome to eat the chicken thighs, the drumstick, but make sure you remove the skin. The same with turkey. Pork, make sure you buy the leanest pork tenderloin. I always say it's as lean as chicken breast. Pork chop, trim the fat, because, and then there are fats, animal fat, full fat cheese, that causes elevation in your cholesterol, total cholesterol, in your bad cholesterol, which is LDL, which is really bad for your heart. So, plus it's very dense in calories. So when it comes to dairy is from cow or sheep. So you want it to be low fat, not no fat. Why? Because animal fat causes plaque in our small vessels, causes plaque heart in all our small vessels and our brain. So that's why you want to limit the saturated fat. Butter is animal fat. Mayonnaise is animal fat. So you don't want, and honestly, I recommend very little animal fat.
Okay, good.
Little what?
We get inundated with all kinds of diets that and they're advertised on television, they're advertised everywhere, and this is guaranteed to, you're going to lose weight, etc. And some may work, but how do we sort out, talk a little bit about the different types of diets we often hear about, such as, well, you talked a little
So
bit about
honestly, there's so much that I didn't know until I was prepping for today. There's a watermelon diet going around. I'm like, wow, what? Watermelon? I heard it all. Diet, which is, please, I do not recommend it for anyone because watermelon is high in sugar. So if you have pre-diabetes and if you're eating watermelon all day, within a month you develop type 2 diabetes. There is the banana diet, there is the cabbage soup diet, there is the vegan diet, there is the flexitarian diet, the Atkins diet, the Pritikin diet, keto diet. So really, and many other diets. Moderation is the name of the game. Moderation. The best diet, number one, Mediterranean diet.
Okay, as we hear, I haven't seen it, but the Goldie diet, I don't know what that is.
Very good. You want me to be honest?
Sure.
I said to my boss, don't think I'm crazy, but I'm going to see if I can sign up for it because people ask me, my clients, my patients ask me. And I got to signing up to the middle of it. I said, oh my God, it's a gimmick. It's like an Atkins diet, but they sell you vitamins and stuff. So really, they're making money. So like, what? This doesn't make sense. So, and the other diet, which is good, and I personally approve of it, is South Beach diet, which is designed by a cardiologist in Florida who has a clinic. Basically, the first few days, God bless Dr. Atkins, I'm sure he copied him. It's kind of like that, but you get to eat more. Did I lose you? I'm sorry. You get to eat more vegetables and fruit and nuts and seeds. That is a pretty healthy diet. But the best diet is a Mediterranean diet, or I call it the plate diet, right? Your focus should be on your vegetables. You need to learn to love the food that loves you back. And honestly, nothing on this planet could protect you against diseases the way the vegetables.
You mentioned on one of these that they're also selling vitamins, etc. Are there any cases where vitamins are useful or helpful in terms of diet?
Of course. One thing we learned, good thing came out of COVID, that nutrition is really important. And I was blessed having an amazing president at Northern Dutchess Hospital in East George, that she allowed us, she said if she was wonderful through it all, that if you're okay with it, come to work, see if you can. In the beginning, we weren't seeing any outpatient. We were figuring it out how to do telehealth, right? Because in nutrition, we never did telehealth. And then she said there are classes. We were connected to Columbia Presbyterian, the effects of so many. Every day, I was taking 3, 4, 5 classes. One thing we learned that vitamins in the right amount, vitamin D, vitamin C, zinc, really, truly impact your immune system. But if your diet is really poor, if you live in McDonald's and you take these vitamins, really doesn't work that well. So it has to be a combination of what you eat and taking these supplements and hydration. And one thing that we learned is dehydration also is very bad for your immune system. I knew was bad for weight loss. It's bad if you have kidney problem or diabetes, but I didn't know it actually affects your immune system. Makes sense. Like now, oh, right, it makes a difference. So taking those supplements, vitamin D and zinc and C. Now, by saying that, if you are a patient who has history of kidney stone, so you don't want to do vitamin C, but you want to get your vitamin C through your vegetable and fruits, right? If you're someone who has real, stage 3 renal disease, kidney disease, you need to discuss your supplement with your kidney doctor, right?
Okay.
So that you can't just say, okay, my kidneys are shot, but I'm going to take these vitamins. You have to take it safely. And mega dosing on it, it's not good. Moderation. We know that B12, as we get older, B12 gets absorbed in our intestine, right, digestive system. And as we get older, our digestive system is not the way it was in our 20s and 30s or late 30s. So actually, the study was VA hospital somewhere in the United States. So there's a connection between brain health and B12, right? Anxiety and depression with B12. So the next time you see your primary care physician, ask the physician to do your B12 and your vitamin D level. And your B12, the protocol in United States is if your number is 250, you're normal. If you're 1100, you're normal, which doesn't make sense. But you really should be around 700 to feel good.
Is this for vitamin B or
B12, B12.
B12? Okay.
Right, B12. So the next time you're at your primary care physician or at your cardiologist, ask them to do your B12 level. Vitamin D in the state, 29 to 100 is normal. But now we see the younger physicians who are really into nutrition, fitness, health, they're recommending what the British 7 years ago, 8 years ago the study came from England that the fracture from osteoporosis, osteoarthritis doesn't happen because of low calcium. It happens because of low vitamin D. And it's very common, breast cancer patients, that when they go for screening, their vitamin D level is very low. And low vitamin D also contributes for us to catch any cold viruses, COVID. So it's important you be very good about taking for winter month, we all should take vitamin D supplement. 2000 IU international unit.
Even if maybe we are taking a multivitamin that has those in it?
Yes, trust me, yes.
Okay, all right, no. Now you mentioned hydration, and I remember very well a number of our classes, and you saying you've got to drink water, you've got to hydrate. When we talk about hydration in terms of fluids, and there are all kinds of ways you can get, but how much should we really be drinking? I hear 64 ounces or whatever.
Right.
Give us an idea on that.
So the jury is out on that, right? We brought a speaker to one of our bariatric support group, amazing young woman who graduated from Columbia University in the city. she recommends half of your body weight water. But
Ooh.
I say, you should never say it like that. If you have congestive heart failure, right? If you have issues with your heart, then you need to discuss it with your cardiologist. So, but safe intake of water should be 64 ounces per day.
Does that include, let's say I get up in the morning and I have a big jar of water that's maybe, I don't know, 25 or 30 ounces. If I then drink iced tea, unsweetened iced tea or something like that, does that count also?
No, actually it does quite the opposite. Tea, caffeinated tea, coffee dehydrates you. I work with very good bariatric surgeon. He says if you drink a cup of coffee, you need to add an extra cup of water to your
Okay.
So really just water. You could infuse your water with lemon, with lime, with mint, with basil, with frozen strawberry, oranges, slices, watermelon chunk. And so we count that water. Seltzer, you count as water. But please, please, no one drink any fruit juices. Even if you juice the fruit, it's pure sugar. Sugar is sugar, right? Mm-hmm. So water is the best thing.
Okay.
64 hours.
And we can't, I mean, if in the afternoon, mid-afternoon, we wanted to snack and we had a piece of watermelon, which is a high percentage of water, that wouldn't count.
No, sorry, unless you're on fluid restriction, yes.
Okay, I'm just trying to get my bearings here. Yeah, that's good. Certainly, I remember the classes too that we talked about exercise, and we get all kinds of, again, it's almost as bad as the number of diets that come out in terms of the exercise programs and certain. Just talk a little bit, because you've integrated it into your program.
Right.
The role of exercise, and do we need to get crazy, or do we just need to be
No, honestly, that's the problem. Because we all think we have to be out there running, jogging, or go to the gym and work really hard. No, we have evidence-based study which was out in August or last week in July that walking 5 minutes after a meal lowers your blood sugar. I've known that for years when I worked on patients' floor, and I would say to the nurses, if you just get the patient out of the bed, the diabetic patient, after a meal, walk the whole way. This was before COVID, I'm talking about 20 years ago. And then you don't have to give them so much insulin before lunch or before dinner, right? So now the study backs that up, that any movement is better than no movement. So I urge all of you to walk 10 minutes. I know Northeast are winters, so it doesn't mean you have to go outside if it's ice and snow out there. Time yourself and walk around your kitchen, your dining room, your living room, the hallways. So please do that. If you did that 10 minutes, 3 times a day, that's 30 minutes a day, right? Yeah. So we know 12 studies was evidence-based out in Europe, September 6th, and immediately published in American Journal of Neurology for September issue. Doing 10,000 a step or 12,000 a step a day delays Alzheimer and dementia. So you can all Google Journal of Neurology September issue, read the article. So it is important you move. Some of us might have head problem, knee problem, back problem, right? So you could do exercises, upper body exercises, sitting in the chair. Or you could do balance exercise. If you're able to move, you say, oh, I can't do more than 5 minutes. So do 5 minutes 6 times a day, right? So the more you move, the better you will be.
That's great. That's great. Now, you know, we've talked about a lot of things here, which are eye-opening for us in terms of this. Where does one start in terms of sort of trying to get back on track?
It is important to read nutrition label and nutrition facts, not just the label, the facts. So for example, if you see a box of cracker that says whole grain, non-GMO, you say, oh, great, I buy it. But I urge you to read the ingredient. 3 things you need to be scared of. No corn syrup, no high fructose, no enriched flour when it comes to bread, when it comes to crackers, cereals, and when it comes to baked goods, saturated fat is the worst thing for you, right? And hydrogenated oil actually causes plaque, our brain, in our heart. So start reading labels and nutrition facts. Start like slow, right? Say, right, I need to eat more vegetable. If you're eating a cup, you'll go make doable, realistic goal. Say, my goal for this week is, can I get to 2 cups of vegetables? If you're not eating any fresh fruit, say to yourself, can I eat 2 pieces of fruit a day? Let me try that. If you drink only 3 glasses of water, your goal for the first week should be, can I up my water? Can I walk 10 minutes a day, right? Small steps gives us victory. When we go for big things, it fails. In the beginning, you might, like I have patients who say to me, they went on Atkins diet, they lost 7 pounds the first week, but then everything stopped, right? Or people who do intermittent fasting. So it's really making a lifestyle change. And don't feel sorry for yourself. Be happy that you're making these changes. I always say to myself, now that I'm in my 60s, I say, what keeps me away from nursing home and hospital? You know, that's how you have to look at it. Really, it's about the quality of your life. Of course, the way we eat is a habit. It is much easier to stop, grab pizza or go to one of these fast chain restaurants, but they're all toxic and poison. And it's about learning to love yourself and say to yourself, you're all people of faith, right? Your body is a temple of your soul, and God gave you the gift of health. Why would you destroy it with food that we know it's not good for you, right? I recommend, if you have in-person services, instead of cookies and donuts and bagels, make a commitment to bring unsalted nuts, fruits. So okay, maybe for some people who complain, bring them a healthier, option of pastry, but focus to bringing to your services, or if you do meet at each other's home, don't focus on cookies and cakes and pies and pastries. And one thing I want to mention, I had a patient today who said to me, nurse, retired, top-level nurse, said to me, I eat a healthy breakfast. I said, what is your breakfast? She said, raisin bran, oranges, 100% orange juice. Well, I went like, ooh, raisin bran is poison. Please, when you buy cereal, read the ingredient. Per serving, no more than 4 grams of sugar. Any cereal, even if it's organic, if it has added fruit, added nuts to it, it's not good. Not good at all. Please, the best cereal, if you ask me, you want to protect your body, the planet, plain Cheerios or oatmeal. Oatmeal is your best bet. And I know it's boring, oatmeal, but if you add fresh or frozen berries,
Cereals or
nuts, nuts are healthy fat. They're good for your brain function, they're good for your heart function. Walnuts, almonds, pistachios. The British Heart Association 20 years ago had this big revelation about nuts and heart health. The British called the British Heart Association walnuts the king of nuts, almonds the queen of nuts, pistachio the prince of nuts when it comes to heart health, right? So adding some nuts to your oatmeal, adding some cinnamon for flavor, and if you crave that sweetness, a teaspoon of local honey or local maple syrup. Do not add sugar to your oatmeal.
Yeah, well, that's good advice. I do have.
That's really important.
Yeah. Well,
And you need protein. It is important. It is important to start your day with protein.
Yeah.
Not a bagel. A bagel is like eating 9 slices of bread. More should be protein, like 1 egg. Even if you have high cholesterol, 7 eggs a week is okay. Egg whites, low-fat cottage cheese, part of ricotta, natural peanut butter, almond butter, Greek yogurt, right? For protein in the morning. Protein in the morning is really important. And eating 3 meals, 3 healthy snacks that contain protein, vegetable, and fruit is really important. An easy snack is hummus and vegetable. Right.
Let me stop, because this is wonderful. We are about out of time on this, but what I would like to do, if you are amenable, is to bring you back and we can focus on some of these areas a little more. I would really love to do that.
My pleasure.
This has been fantastic, Roufia, and I can't thank you enough in terms of giving us a start in terms of this. And to me, this is one of the key. I think this and exercise, if we do that on a basis, we will all be much healthier. And the numbers of pre-diabetics and diabetics in Dutchess County will plummet as in other counties. And that's our goal.
Pray.
And we pray.
Thank you. Good to be with all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Roufia. Bye-bye.
Oh, well, it was a lot of information.
Well, you can see why if attending 16 weeks with Roufia, you get a lot of information and you get a lot of encouragement in terms of it. I can't speak enough for program itself. It really, she has a partner in physical therapy, in showing, again, some simple exercises. But I think the key seems to be really in terms of diet, looking at what your diet is, not going on a diet necessarily, and exercise. And those two combinations, I think, start to affect your key
amounts.
your key numbers. Questions from Roufia is phenomenal, and if you've been with her for some period of time, she's highly regarded in terms of the area. She, interestingly, she comes from Iran, and came over here, I think, as a young person, and has made her mark here in terms of all of the nutritional issues. She is available. The program is a CDC approved program at Northern Dutchess. It's free. You need to sign up. You can sign up with her if you so desire. And if you're interested, I encourage it. It for me, it was a life-changing program in terms of that. Anyway, let me stop there. Questions that you may have?
No.
She did mention maple syrup.
Yeah, we heard that.
So for those of you who make maple syrup, there is an avenue.
Saw that.
Due to her
Rita?
schedule, we weren't able to have her live, so that's the only sad thing, but we were able to record her, obviously. So but I think having her back to go more in depth on certain topics would be really wonderful, because she is a wealth of knowledge.
Wow.
What's the website that he was referring to?
For to reach Roufia? I actually I'd go on Northern Dutchess and look for
Northern Dutchess Hospital. Let me
nutrition.
see if I can find it.
If you just
Yes.
if you just Google Northern Dutchess Hospital, you'll see Newvance, and it will come up there. And I think if you
Not sure
you
this
should
is.
have a nutrition area there, and you can click that. You can query. The other way is to go in, and there'll be a number. There'll be a phone number on the hospital. Call that and indicate that you'd like to get in touch with Roufia Payman's office, and certainly they'll direct you there, and you could get in touch with her that way.
What's her last name again?
Payman, Payman.
Okay.
I'm putting into the chat the link for the hospital.
Okay.
Putting in what? Oh, that's a link for the hospital.
And that's where she
Hmm.
worked out of.
Yes, she works out of Northern Dutchess. Her office is in Northern Dutchess, and the program is ongoing, and they hold it at Northern Dutchess, and well, they started about, it's 16 weeks, so they started twice, probably twice, 2 or 3 times a year. Sign up. I'd highly recommend it. It again, you're going to learn a lot. And what I found too was it was typically a group of about 30 people, and you become a community there, because people are coming in. Some are diabetic, some are pre-diabetic, some are struggling with issues, and you really get a sense of what other people are trying, and they're sharing that as well. And it's a good group. It's a good experience. I'd recommend it. You know, as an old guy, I think I got to learn. You know, we got to learn how to eat a little better, and it's really led me to some good habits. Still have some bad ones, but more good ones. Anyway,
Okay.
Questions? Any
64 ounces of water seems like that's 8 full glasses in the course of a day.
That's correct.
or
Drink
Or
to
it
go to
can
the
be-
bathroom.
well, what
Well,
you need
yeah.
is need a bigger glass so you don't have to drink as many glasses. But Yeah.
I have a water bottle that's 32 and I have to go through 2 of those a day. And it
I
is,
don't drink anywhere near that much.
it is a lot, but I find that my skin is in much better shape when I drink that much water. Never mind other things, you know, just it's a lot of water and I go to the bathroom awful, make a lot of
do there.
Especially for
found it-
old folks, that could be an issue.
Mhm.
Ross?
I found it interesting that she said the liquid we get from foods doesn't count.
Yeah.
Because that was given to me as eat fruit and you're going to get some liquid from the fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know. Did I misunderstand her?
No, she was saying in addition
No,
to that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was pretty much saying that anything that you get through food in general doesn't count. And I sort of took that as it gets absorbed differently somehow, but I don't know.
They
what the
both go to your
difference-
stomach.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't know.
I know that my caffeine messes with me, you know, and I try to limit how much caffeine I have because I know that, you know, is an instant minus. So if I have 8 ounces of tea, that's 8 ounces more of water I need to drink.
So if you go into McDonald's and you get either a small, medium, or large coffee for the same price, get a small one. I don't know.
I mean, she's like
McDonald's,
very like supposed to just drink water. I mean, water like
Yeah.
yeah, I drink a
What
lot.
I
of
found is if you
milk,
start in
yes.
the morning with a good, I've got a quart jar. Quart jar is what, 32 ounces.
Yeah,
You can get through that in the morning, and then you know you only got 32 more to go, and it's not that bad. But yeah,
it is a lot
but
of
even
water.
if you did if you do more than what you're doing now in terms of water, I mean, if you could drink 4 glasses of water today and you're not doing that now, try that for a while and see if you feel a difference. I think you will.
Well,
I
and
know I have.
that's the thing that I like about her is that it's not an all or nothing thing. It's if you're only drinking 2 glasses of water right now, try drinking 3. You know, it's not like you have to instantly jump to drinking a gallon a day. It's
Right.
Does beer count?
Half.
I refuse to answer that. But good question.
Only half,
Ross,
Ross.
good
Only
question.
half.
I have gone online about decaf coffee because I only drink decaf coffee now. And that basically said it counts as a liquid, but she's saying it doesn't.
Well, she's saying
Decaf
the coffee and the tea, if it doesn't have caffeine, I think that's what she was getting at. Caffeine acts as a reverse in terms of.
Well, I don't,
Caffeine does, but
I
if
drink decaffeinated.
Yeah,
if you're drinking decaffeinated, I believe it counts as water.
yeah.
Yay.
I believe. Of course, I don't have her degrees, so you know,
Well,
but counted for
better
now.
than
There
nothing.
you go. Yep. So that's what David and I can fill in for, and we certainly hope you've enjoyed this, and we thank you for coming and spending an hour of your evening with us. And this is our last Episcopal Seniors for 2022. We will be working on our programming for next year, and then we'll be sending out emails about what we're going to be focusing on for next year. So have a
Good.
wonderful Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year, and we'll be in touch in 2023.
And
Thank
you
you
guys
all.
have one too. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For
Thank
you. Good
Thank
bunch of programs.
Thank
Thank
you.
Much
Thank you so much.
appreciated.
Okay, take care.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 You leave me because then I'll disconnect.